Good evening. Welcome to If You Don't Like That. We've got the NFL schedules out. The Celtics are still alive. What a second half for Boston. The game was tied at 59 at the intermission, and the Celtics, with a gigantic third quarter, took control, and they win it 127-102. What an absolutely huge game six coming up at the Garden for New York. You don't want to go to Boston and having to win a game seven with or without Jason Tatum. And obviously, we know it's going to be without Jason Tatum. So, boy, that's going to be some game six at Madison Square Garden. Halftime, Minnesota 62, Golden State 47. Golden State could be looking at their last 24 minutes of basketball. Without Steph Curry, they just don't have enough offense. They don't have enough offense. Grant, always look forward to these shows. I remember back in the Listen App days, and I remember you doing podcasts that were about 25 minutes solo or so. Are you going to do that format again? I'm not doing Listen App anymore. Thank you very much, Telly. I've enjoyed this format more. I think this is where it's at more than Listen App. I don't see myself going back to Listen App. But thank you for your interest, and thank you for your support. All right, NFL. You ready? 49ers. At Seattle, at New Orleans, home Arizona, home Jacksonville, at the Rams, at Tampa, home Atlanta, at Houston, at the Giants, home Rams, at Arizona, home Carolina, at Cleveland, late bye, which is great. Tennessee at home, at Indy, Chicago at home, Seattle at home. So there's the schedule for the 49ers. Pretty, relatively speaking, easy, right? Pretty easy, relatively speaking. I mean, you never know. Schedules can change, correct? Schedules will change. All right. You want to talk about a schedule? All right. And we have all the schedules here, so we can go over all of them. And I'm happy to do so. Just understand that schedules do change based on a key injury, such as the quarterback. And we hope that doesn't happen, but chances are it will, because that's part of playing in the National Football League and the injuries that come along with it. All right, here's your Raiders schedule. At New England, Chargers, at Washington, Bears, at Indy, home Tennessee, at Kansas City, early bye, which I don't like, home Jacksonville, at Denver, home Dallas, home Cleveland, at the Chargers, home Denver, at Philly, at Houston, home Giants, home Kansas City. That's your schedule for the Raiders. Tell me what you think of this schedule. I'm not even going to tell you the team. I'm just going to read you the schedule. At Washington, at Dallas, home Kansas City on Sunday night, home Chargers, at Saints, Eagles at home on Thursday night, at Broncos, at Eagles, home 49ers, at Bears, Packers home, at Lions, at Patriots Monday night, bye. Commanders, the Washington Commanders at home, the Vikings at home, at the Raiders, Cowboys at home. That's the team I root for, the New York Giants. That is the toughest schedule in the National Football League. Good luck. Good luck. All right, again, if you want to go over anything with the NFL, we can do so. Again, Minnesota and the Warriors have now started the third quarter, and the Timberwolves lead by 16. Did you watch the Boston-New York game? What do you think? The Celtics going to win in New York in Game 6? Talk about the pressure. Talk about the pressure on the Knicks coming home for a Game 6. All right, hockey. Panthers beat the Maple Leafs 6-1. They lead that series 3-2. And the Knights, trying to stay alive, they are scoreless in the second against the Oilers. Again, Vegas and Edmonton, with Edmonton up 3-1. If you want to get in on the program, you can do so. You got the QR code above my shoulder. I'll put the link up for you as well. You can do whatever is best for you. All right. Give me a call. We'll talk about the NFL schedule, the NBA playoffs, or anything else that is going on in the world of sports or elsewhere if you want. We didn't get into this yesterday much, and I get the impression fans don't care about Rob Manfred, Pete Rose, Shoeless Joe Jackson, eligible now to be put into the Hall of Fame posthumously. I mean, they still have to get voted in, and we know how a lot of the voters are with their following of the rules and ethics and everything else. So that doesn't mean that they're going to get in. It just means that they are now reinstated. Like, does it matter? Pete Rose is gone. We lost him in September. Does it really matter? We didn't get much of a reaction yesterday, and I think that was because of what happened at the NBA draft. I did a rant on this today, and I will continue to talk about this. There's no way that Adam Silver can look at all of the criticism about the NBA draft lottery and think that it's fine. It's been a bad 48 hours in terms of publicity, and it's been negative. Conspiracy theories, national media members talking about it, fans talking about it. That's a bad look for the NBA, regardless of whether it's reality or not. I don't think the league can continue to do this. Happy with the release of the 49ers season schedule. Pretty easy in terms of strength of teams. Yes, it is. Would I vote Pete in? No, I would not. I would not vote him in. I think if you bet on the sport that you play, especially as a manager, you're ineligible for the Hall of Fame. And there's a notice, by the way, on every single clubhouse when you walk in. It's the first thing you see. So you can't say you didn't know. So no, I would not. I would not vote him in. What about you? Would you vote him in? I would not. The Timberwolves are looking very good. Opened up the third with a big first 3.5 minutes. It is 72-54. So Minnesota trying to move on, where they'll take the winner of Oklahoma City and Denver. Again, schedules do change a lot in the National Football League. I mean, they always do. Like, I think Philadelphia is not going to be nearly as good. And I'm saying that for this reason. Last year, Saquon Barkley was instrumental in the success that the Eagles had. And based on his history, I just don't see him being able to stay healthy for 2 years in a row. And he was healthy all of last year. I'm not rooting for him to get hurt. I'm not anti-Saquon Barkley. I'm actually pro-Saquon Barkley. But I don't see him being able to stay healthy based on his career. And I think without him, it's going to be like the 49ers without Christian McCaffrey. So that's my early prediction, that I think that they're going to have a difficult season. I didn't say not playoffs. I just said difficult. They're in a very challenging division. I think Washington's going to win the division this year. They're my pick to win the division. Now, the one thing about Washington, when you look at their schedule, and we always talk about the fairness, when they have a bye, the team that they're taking on after their bye is also coming off a bye, Seattle. Washington has 3 other games this year where they're playing a team coming off a bye. That's just unfair. That's wrong. So they have 3 games where the team they're playing has an additional week of rest. That's very unfair. I don't like that. That's an inequity in the schedule that I pointed out, that I saw, and I'm pointing out to you. Doesn't make sense to me. It just doesn't. It doesn't seem right. I don't see how an NFL can put a schedule out where one team is playing 3 games against teams with an extra week off. I don't like that. All right, if you want to talk about the NFL, the NBA, anything else going on, give me your thoughts. Real quickly, I'd love to do an informal poll here. Yes or no? Would you vote Pete Rose into the Hall of Fame? Yes or no? I'm curious what you would think, because this has been talked about for decades now. Yes or no? Says my prediction for the 49ers is 12-5 or 11-6. I could see that. I think they're going to be very good. I could see that. This is beautiful. I hate how the schedules are presented with all these fancy colors and graphics with small font. Just show the damn schedule in order with plain text. Freaking men, Tristan. Amen. Beautiful. Love it. Any credence to lottery conspiracy? No, but the perception is that it's fixed, and the perception alone is bad for the NBA. You should do play-by-play watch parties, audio only, so we can listen to you and watch the games. It would be too difficult. First of all, there wouldn't be any natural sound. You wouldn't be able to hear whistles. And you don't understand how difficult that would be from my perspective. I'm not saying I couldn't do it. I'm saying it would be very challenging, and I don't think it would be enjoyable for you. Like, I don't think you'd enjoy it. I really don't. I mean, without being able to hear the noise and the fans and everything else, it just wouldn't sound right. I wouldn't want to listen to it. So I appreciate that. All right. Thank you very much. But I don't see myself doing that. I really don't. If I could make a lucrative, by lucrative, I don't mean like a millionaire, but if I could make good money, because you don't understand how much effort it would take for me to do that, and how much preparation. Like, it's not just like I would turn the TV on and start announcing a game. There's a lot more that goes into it. And here's the other deal. Without being able to hear, I wouldn't always know who's on the floor, because very often the TV, they don't show players coming in and off the floor when they're substituted for. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. So that alone, like doing the Kings would be easy. I would be able to recognize them instantly for the most part. But just there's all variables involved, like foul calls. I wouldn't know what the foul is. I mean, violations, right? I wouldn't know. It would be, just wouldn't be, I don't think it would be enjoyable. I don't think it would be enjoyable. All right, so we got yes, yes, and yes. Good start. What about Pete Rose? Give me your thoughts. Yes, Hall of Fame? No. What do you think? Grant, am I going to write a book like Jerry? That's a good question. I've been approached to write a book, and I am thinking about it. I'm waiting until my conclusion of my lawsuit, and at that point, I will put a lot of thinking into whether I would do it or not. I think it could be very interesting. Jerry's book was great. So we'll see. We'll see. Never say never, right? Never say never. And then the other aspect of writing a book, I would have to sit down in a very quiet room and make a decision on where I draw the line of what goes into the book and what doesn't. I've been very honest about this before. I have a lot of stories and a lot of information that I think would be very, very disappointing for Kings fans. And I have never told those stories. And I think that, well, first of all, I don't know if you would believe him. That's first and foremost. I would never write anything of a book. I would never put anything in there that was not 100% accurate. I just wouldn't. I wouldn't be able to live with myself. I wouldn't attack an individual unfairly if I felt they deserved to be attacked. I wouldn't do that. Because once a book is out, it's out, and it's there for everyone to see forever. So there comes a degree of responsibility with that, to be factual, for it to be interesting. And then the question I would have to ask myself, do you as a fan want to know or deserve to know what I'm about to put on paper. And I'd have to really think long and hard about that. I really would have to think long and hard about that. Well, tell me. I know exactly how the NBA is rigged and who is behind it. All right, brother Cy, don't leave us hanging, man. If you know, let us hear it. If you know, don't hide it. You tell us. You tell us why I tell you that New Works Plumbing is awesome. They're available around the clock 24/7 for your plumbing needs and repairs. Just go to saxserviceplumbing.com or newworksplumbing.com, NEWWRXplumbing.com. New Works Plumbing, they've got a fix for you. They are awesome. And again, they're available whenever you need them for your plumbing needs and repairs. New Works Plumbing, they've got a fix for you. So Brother Cy knows how the NBA is rigged and who is behind it, but he's not going to tell us. How about that? Grant, wish you did like Comic Cons for meet and greets. Would be cool to finally meet you in person after all these decades. You know, we had a big charity event back 2 years ago, 3 years ago at Bennett's, and I met a lot of great people out there. I could see that happening. I could see that happening. I'm reading the Funny Stories with Jerry's, that chapter first. That probably would be near the beginning of the book. Yeah. Yeah. There would be a lot of great stories with Jerry in there, that's for sure. The book wouldn't just be, I mean, a book would entail a lot of different factors. I have a lot of great stories. I have a lot of funny stories. I have a lot of stories that I don't know if I should share with you or not. Like there's an ethical part of all of this. Like the things that I know would blow your freaking mind. Like you wouldn't believe it. Like you go, no, Napes is just making this up to sell books. Well, I'm just telling you, I would never do that. Like if I write a book, everything in there is going to be 100% factual. Nothing's going to be made up. Nothing's going to be hearsay. It's going to be what I witnessed and what I know to be factual. It's not going to be like, well, I think this happened. Nuh-uh. That would never happen. Anything that goes in my book happened, and it's the truth. So, but I have to decide on like where I draw the line or not. I'd have to really give a lot of thought to that. I'd have to give a lot of thought to that. All right, brother Cy, I'm sorry that I asked. I'm sorry that I asked. Also, a problem with time delay for broadcast TNT on significant delay. Jeff, you're exactly right. That'd be another issue, right? That would be another issue. Did I read the George Carl book? I have not read George's book. Did you read it? And if so, what did you think of it? What'd you think of it? Hey, brother Cy, just so you know, that's your warning. You can handle it however you want. But if I get another message like that, you're going to be blocked on this channel. It's up to you. So we're not dealing with that here. All right. I'm not dealing with that. So that's your one warning. Everyone gets a warning unless that's your warning. You can do whatever you want with the warning, but that's your warning. All right. All right. It is 78-62. The Timberwolves are leading the Warriors with 5 minutes left to go in the third. How about the Warriors going out in 5 if this holds up? And what do you think about that? Like, are we closing the door on them or not yet? Not yet. Someone said, what happens to PK? You know, PK, maybe he's traveling for his work. Maybe he's just so dejected and distraught after the lottery that he can't talk. I mean, yeah. What's happened to PK? PK has become an institution here on If You Don't Like That. He's like the new version of Stanley, but he's certainly a lot different than Stanley. Like PK's actually got a brain in his head. So, yeah, what's happened to PK? PK, are you there, buddy? Bernard King dropped 42 on Dr. J in his second game ever in the NBA. Bernard King was one of the best scorers I've ever seen play in my life. I used to love watching the Knicks play when Bernard King was on the team. God, he was unbelievable. So freaking good. 80-62, Minnesota. Looks like they're going to cruise here. You know, without Steph Curry, you can't see them making a comeback, can you? Hey, brother Cy, enough. Don't go there, all right? Don't go there. Based on the 25 schedule alone, can the Buffalo Bills get number 1 seed, barring no injuries? Yeah, they can. Schedule or not schedule, they got a very good team. What's my take on Mike Bibby and Shaq to Sac State? I'm very happy for Mike. I'm a big fan of Mike. I'll be rooting for Mike. I hope he does well. There's no negatives having Shaq on board. It's great. It's great for Sacramento State. Oh, over under 8 games before Dart starts for the Giants. Over. With this schedule, they're not going to rush him. There's no need to rush him, but I believe he'll be starting at some point during the year. But I think over. What about you, Ryan? I better see a big jump from Devin Carter this year. Yeah, you better. Everybody should. Can I elaborate why Atlanta is a bad sports market? Yes, because most of the people that live there are not from that area. And it's a big college part of the country. And the fans have not gravitated towards professional sports like other markets. But I think that's one of the reasons. It just is. It's terrible. Warriors are in for a rebuild. I see them in the play-in. Well, they were in the play-in this year. Alex English basically averaged 27 points a game for the entire 80s decade. He's a pretty darn good small forward, too. Yep. And I got to know Alex when he was an assistant coach with the Kings. Great man. The Kings have only 2 movable pieces that other teams would see value in contract, included that Monk and Keon, maybe Keegan with his current contract. Do I think the Kings trade back into the first? I would think it's unlikely. And the reason I say that is I don't think if you don't get near the top of the draft, I don't really see why. Doesn't make sense to me. End of the second, no score still, Vegas and Edmonton. That's now 5 periods. 5 periods that Vegas has not scored. That's pretty good goaltending and defense by Edmonton to keep that Vegas team off the board for 5 straight periods. Atlanta is a baseball city. That baseball team covers the whole South. Well, first of all, if they're a baseball city, how come every time the Atlanta Braves are in the playoffs and I turn the TV on, there are so many empty seats? Explain that to me. Explain to me when the Braves were good every year with Smoltz, Glavine, Maddox, Bobby Cox as the manager, and every time they were in the playoffs, I turned the TV on and I saw so many empty seats. If they're such a great baseball town, how come that happened? Explain that to me, would you please? What do I think about Aaron Rodgers retiring? I think he should retire if that's what he decides. Can't even talk the truth in America. Everybody wants it silenced. Brother Cy, you're not talking about the truth. You're talking about something that is based on your personal belief in terms of religion. And this is a sports show. We're not going there. Go call up somebody else for your theory. All right. Trae Young, Levine, Keegan, Domas. I don't even know what that means, Dennis. I wouldn't want Trae Young. Have I ever been in MetLife? I was thinking about going to the 49ers game there. Yeah, it's a very nice stadium. Very nice. Be cold when you go there. Bring your warm clothes. Bring your long clothes. Kings winning it all. What are they winning? Tell me what they're going to win, Dennis. Are they going to win the preseason? They're going to go undefeated and win the preseason? Is that what they're going to win? Are they going to win Summer League and have Vivek get all excited and hand out T-shirts and hats to everyone? Is that what they're going to win, Dennis? Just curious. Projected top 10 pick Jeremiah Fears met with the Kings. Do you think the Kings could be trying to trade into the top 10? Just so you know, the Kings will still bring in as many players as they can for workouts, because you always want to get more information on an individual, because you never know when a trade is going to occur, not only for this year, but for during the season or next year. So I wouldn't read anything into that. Best NBA arena, in my opinion, other than MSG. Well, I think it's Golden One Center. I also love the arena in Milwaukee. Beautiful. I have not been to the arena in LA where the Clippers play. This is like the first year not excited about the Kings. Well, first of all, it's May, and you don't know what the team's going to look like. So why don't you wait until you know what the team looks like before you make that determination? Right now, I can understand why you would say that, but the Kings season doesn't start until October. I'm not very optimistic. I think the Kings have multitude of problems that starts with the owner. I think that Scott Perry and Doug Christie will be a disaster. And I think this is going to be a year where the Kings struggle to get close to 40 games. I don't see it happening. And that's even without knowing what the roster is going to look like. Raiders win-loss record this year. I think best case scenario, 8 wins. Best case. That's it. Brother Cy, bye-bye. Nice knowing you. All right, Minnesota 91, Golden State 68. Boston won earlier, 127 to 102. What a performance in that second half by the Boston Celtics. Hey, Sunrise Landing in Calusa, a residential community from Plazona Development. It is beautiful. Calusa, where you'll find Sunrise Landing with beautiful models, 6 in all. They're having a May-spring special right now. Reduced prices on many of these homes. Check it out by going to CalusaSunrise.com. Remember, no Mellorews, no homeowners. It's all there for you at Sunrise Landing. Go to CalusaSunrise.com and get all the information you need at beautiful Sunrise Landing in Calusa. Let's say hello to Michael. What's up, Michael?
Oh, that was quick. How are you doing, Grant? That was pretty fast. Minnesota Timberwolves looks like they're going to go into the Western Conference Finals. I think that's. I don't think that's ever happened in Minnesota Timberwolves history.
Correct.
I think when a lot of people want to compare what's at Anthony Edwards, Kevin Garnett. Garnett took them once.
Yes, that's correct. And Anthony Edwards is still not even in his prime yet, so that bodes very well for the Timberwolves. But they also have other really good players in addition to Anthony Edwards. I mean, Julius Randle, who took a long time to kind of get going in the flow with that team after the trade, has really played well in these playoffs.
Wow. I mean, he worked out better than what Karl Anthony Towns did, or what are you seeing?
I don't know. They were in the finals last year in the Western Conference with Towns. Let's see how they do this year, assuming that they close out the door on the Warriors, and it looks like they will. They're up 23, so I don't think they're going to blow a 23-point lead in the fourth quarter. No. But let's see how they do against the winner of Oklahoma City and Denver. It looks like it might be Oklahoma City. I would give Oklahoma City the odds to win that series.
Looks like. Oh, you mean which one? The Oklahoma and which one are you talking
Minnesota
about?
and Oklahoma City. I personally am going to choose Oklahoma City if that's the way it turns out.
Yeah, I mean, I think Oklahoma will go to the finals. It's not a surprise. I mean,
no,
they are a great team. They're the best team in the NBA.
Yep,
it's what you expect.
Yep,
I'm not going to be even shocked if they win the title this year, based on what I see.
We'll see. It's going to be it's going to be fun to watch. Anything else, buddy?
I think what are you seeing in New York versus Boston? I think New York will take it in 6.
Well, if they don't, they're not going to win the series. I don't see them winning a Game 7 in Boston. I think the Celtics showed us something in this second half, but I'm with you. I think the Knicks will win in Game 6, but I don't think
they'll just have to take care of it in New York, and then
All right, buddy. Thank you very much. I appreciate you
calling.
Too, Brad. All right, take
care now.
It. All right, bye-bye. Have a good night. Can't wait to see what Carter does in a full season. Well, he needs to stay healthy. I'm a little concerned about the shoulders. I'm a little concerned. The Warriors are truly god awful. Well, they don't have Steph Curry. That would be like the Kansas City Chiefs playing in the playoffs without Patrick Mahomes. Knicks asking for trouble. Well, if they don't win Game 6, they are. You know. Do I see Bill Belichick ever coaching in the NFL? Probably unlikely. I don't see it. I think if he were going to coach in the NFL, it would have been this year. So we'll see. I think someone is going to tell Coach Doug to go big or go home. I just don't think, I just think it's going to be a disaster. I really do. I think this year is going to be awful. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I really do. I could see some real issues here. All right, again, the Timberwolves are rolling, heading to a Western Conference Finals, it looks like. They'll wait the winner of Oklahoma City and Denver. And in the East, the Knicks, boy, that Game 6 at the Garden. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. That's going to be some ticket to get at MSG. This will be the biggest game for the Knicks at Madison Square Garden since the Patrick Ewing days. This is going to be a very difficult ticket to get. This Game 6 ticket at MSG, oh, wow. Man. My thoughts on the New York Giants schedule. I think they'll be lucky to win 5 games. They're going to get shellacked. Now, again, injuries can dictate that, but they got to go 1-1 in their first 2 at Washington and at Dallas. You come home to take on Kansas City on a Sunday night. You're not going to win that game. Then you got the Chargers the following week. Early game for the Chargers. Probably not going to win, but then the Saints game you got to win on the road. Everything else, the Philly, you're not going to beat Philly if they're healthy. I don't think you beat Washington in the 2 games if they're healthy. You're playing the NFC North. You may beat Chicago. I don't think you beat Detroit, Minnesota, or Green Bay. It's a brutal schedule. Brutal. Grant, I don't think it's fair that the Cowboys, Lions, and Chiefs have to play on Thanksgiving and Christmas. Well, they want to play on Thanksgiving. So in terms of not being fair, and again, I'm talking about the Lions and the Cowboys, that's what they want. So they can't complain about that. Are you talking about like the days of the week, or are you talking about the holidays? Because if you're talking about missing Thanksgiving and Christmas, I don't think it's a big deal at all. I don't think it matters. That's my opinion. I think if you polled most of the players, they would say it's an honor to play on those days. But if I were the Kings owner, what would be the first thing you would do to fix the franchise? Also, I think the Niners Super Bowl window is closed. I don't think it's closed if they're healthy, but it's not as open as it was. The first thing I would do if I were the owner of the Sacramento Kings is I would open up my checkbook and I would hire a top-level general manager, and I would sit down with him and look him in the eye and say, I'm giving you a 3-year deal for a lot of money, and I'm staying away, and you are going to make the decisions with the coach, with the trades, and with the draft picks. After 3 years, if I see significant improvement, I'm going to sign you to a unbelievably lucrative deal. And my goal is to have you stay here as long as you want. It's your team. Here's the keys to the car. I'm going away. Call me when you're making a trade so at least I know what's going on. Good luck. Build me a winner. Here's the keys and here's the money in your bank. That's the first thing I would do. The second thing I would do is I would have a press conference, and I would start off by telling the Sacramento Kings fans that I have been a failure and that my way of doing things has not worked, And so I'm taking a different approach. I've hired this general manager who's sitting next to me. I've given him full autonomy. I've given him full control to do what he wants. You won't see me at center court with famous people next to me every night. I'm going to stay in the background, and I'm going to let this general manager, for the foreseeable future, I gave him a 3-year deal, do whatever he feels is in best interest for this team. I appreciate your patience. You're the most loyal fans in the NBA. You deserve this more than any other fan base in the NBA. And I apologize for the ineptitude over the last decade, but things are changing now because I've hired this general manager who is proven, who has got a great track record. And I'm giving you my word as the owner of the Sacramento Kings that I am going to stay in the background and let this individual win for us. With that, I'm getting up and I'm leaving. Please ask the general manager any questions. Thank you very much. Go Kings. That's how I would handle it. I mean, tell me that wouldn't go over well, right? Right? Tell me that wouldn't go over well. How would you respond? How would you respond if the owner said that? You'd be like, oh boy, this is going to be great. Correct? Wouldn't you? Like you'd be like pumped up, would you not? Now, I don't know whether you would believe it or not, but you would at least be really excited, correct? Are you excited when you're getting ready to buy a home? Well, if it goes smoothly and you get the loan and you close the deal, that's this man's job, Connor, with Element Mortgage, who has closed hundreds of loans. The team behind him has over 100 years of experience. Hit the QR code to get in touch with Connor. If you don't like using a QR code, 916-505-1006. That's 916-505-1006. Give Connor a call at Element Mortgage. He's your man. You can trust him. Again, the experience. He's awesome. That's Connor with Element Mortgage. Warriors trying to make one last gasp here with 9 minutes left as they're within 14. But they're going to need a lot of help. I, for one, will be so happy not to have to watch Draymond Green in the playoffs anymore. So I'm now a Minnesota fan just so Draymond Green can go away. But again, the Warriors, I give them credit. They're hanging around. And we've seen a lot of crazy comebacks in the NBA playoffs this year. So it's not quite over yet. Not quite over. But I would love to see Draymond Green eliminated. NBA needs Knicks in the finals for ratings. Boston would be highly rated too, but yes, the Knicks would move the needle. Grant Vivek was with the Warriors before 2013, working with them. What do you think of that? He was a minority owner. I don't think anything of that. I don't think anything of that. You know, you got to wonder if the Minnesota Timberwolves got one more surge in him. They just had a huge lead, and the Warriors have cut it to 12 with 8:50 left. That would be a disaster for Minnesota if they blow this lead. Be a disaster. Be an absolute disaster. All right, tomorrow, 8 o'clock, right here on If You Don't Like That. I'm going to watch the rest of this hockey game. Keep my eye on the Timberwolves and the Warriors. Always appreciate your support right here on If You Don't Like That. Don't forget about the King's Court with Rhino. Don't forget about his Tuesday show where he has Jerry Reynolds on. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you always know when we're going to be doing shows. And we'll pop on sometimes even at the last moment with breaking news. So you don't miss a thing right here. NFL schedules are out. I hope that you're able to plan a trip or two. Maybe go follow your favorite team on the road, which is always fun to do. Enjoy it, everyone. Do I think the lottery is rigged? No, I don't. I don't think an accounting firm as prestigious as Ernst & Young would let the lottery be rigged. So no, I don't. I don't. And thank you for watching. Appreciate it. Talk to you tomorrow, everybody. Bye-bye.